and welcome to NSN Connect. This is the second series and we are focusing on CSR in India, capturing the big picture with the help of Ms. Meena Ragunathan, who has recently published the book Doing Good, Navigating the CSR Maze in India. So in this episode, we are going to look at how we can attract more youth to the development sector and those who want to participate in CSR activities. What are the skills they should have, how they can pick them up, what is the knowledge they should have, and most importantly, how volunteering can be the first step to participate in developmental activities and contribute to the society. So let's go ahead and explore and learn how youth can be a part of various developmental projects, specifically through CSR initiatives and projects, and how they can pick up these skills and what are the key skills and knowledge for them. So far, ma'am, we have discussed many topics related to CSR. Like in the last part, you were discussing in great deal about assessing the impact and how we create a report or a story out of it. One more area which I feel we should really be looking deeper into is trying to help people who are currently in the process of implementing CSR projects, mostly in the area of skills and education, because NSN is more focused on skill and education. Probably they would be really benefiting from your points and your advice about how to cope with the changing times and how things are kind of changing around us. For me, this would be the post-COVID world where I think we have become more open to changes, more flexible in some ways, because today we are open to learning through a blended model. We are open to accepting a colleague who says, okay, I'll work from home for a while, I won't be able to come to office today. So there is a certain attitudinal change which we see, which is more for the positive. So technology is kind of impacting every aspect of life, and also this definitely has an impact on the way we are looking at CSR, the way we are looking at assessing projects in CSR. So from this perspective, what do you see will be the changes and how do we navigate those changes which you foresee in the coming months and years?
Yeah, tough question. Future seeing is always fraught with risk. But as you say, technology has been a game changer in the last 2 years. That learning is possible. I wouldn't definitely recommend it for very young children, but for older children and for youth in the skilling space, that technology and learning from anywhere and continuous learning is now possible in a way that we never dreamt of, on-demand kind of learning. In this space, what I feel, one area, we now know how to deliver, but I still find there is somewhat a lack of very real-time interactive stuff. For instance, if you're learning welding, I know that in a center I can have a welding simulator. But can I have a welding simulator software right on my laptop or mobile? Because skills is about actually learning by doing. So you have to have blended, you have to go into the center. But can I simulate some of that right on the screen from home? I think we still have a lot of catching up to do in some of this kind of simulation software, which brings it right to the mobile phone level. And how do we enhance that? I think that's an area where probably software developers, skill development people have to kind of work, and that would make it effective. The other thing we have to constantly recalibrate our own minds are the changing aspirations of youth today. I don't think we really have a handle on that. We did not 5 years ago. And we always used to question, I'm giving such a good training and I'm placing them at, 10,000 and yet they are not joining. This is a constant lament that we in the skill space have. We are not able to understand. Software firms are, engineers are dropping out. They're saying, if you don't give me work from home, I don't care about your job. I think one problem is people like me cannot imagine a situation where I say, I don't care, I'm leaving the job. So there's been such a mindset change of the 20 plus minus age group. We are in different worlds. So in a sense, understanding the mindsets of youth, I think, is a very important component of successful education or skilling. What is it that they are looking for, and therefore how can we best cater to? So I think this was a gap, and this gap has become more pronounced with the COVID situation. So how do we understand their aspirations, their ambitions, their desires, and then how do we make our reality closer to that? Yeah, so that is a challenge for sure.
Okay. Along with this, now for the professionals of CSR, you already were indicating few skills that probably they should have, like you were talking about negotiation skills. So is there something like few skills which you would want to foresee in the younger generation of CSR professionals, probably, whom you feel, should be kind of imbibing these skills and also changing their outlook and their, changing their aspirations as well. So what could be some of those areas?
Yeah, surely. My generation of people who came into CSR, we came in from the development sector. So we had solid years of experience in NGOs, which is actually a different mindset, a different motivation, a different ideology maybe. And then you kind of did the transition, and then you tried to balance the business requirements with the societal requirements. Within the NGO, I was focused only on my community, on society, on doing what I had to do. When I came into business, the context changed. And I had to kind of negotiate with that and understand that context. Today, I feel that when, the NGO space is shrinking. Not many, even MSW graduates are aspiring to NGO jobs. Everybody wants to come into CSR. So right from college, they're jumping right into a CSR situation, which I think there is some, it leaves a gap.
Yeah.
You're not a complete development professional. You've done this jump to CSR. I wish there was some way in which, I tended to recruit people only from NGOs, because I thought they brought a certain strength of thinking, of development sector processes, understanding, kind of where are you heading, what are you doing, why are you doing it, kind of, you're sorted out your, how shall I put it? I don't want to say ethics, but you've sorted out your professional direction and ethics. I mean, what is, as a development professional, your ethics? So I would recommend that directly went through 2-3 years of rigorous, straightforward development work in an NGO before making this transition. Then it is beautiful because they are able to marry the two strengths. So negotiation was another strength I mentioned. I think conflict resolution is something that CSR professionals need. Because as I said, sometimes a resistance to a CSR project is not about the CSR project. But it is to do with a conflict with a business that is behind you. So how do you resolve these kind of conflicts on the ground? So negotiation, conflict resolution, patience. As I said again, this, not getting carried away by forms and formats, but keeping your eye on the impact. Whatever pressure the company brings on you, you have to deliver impact. And then this kind of, being able to decide, hardware versus software situations. These are all kind of skills. I would also urge, that people who are from the business side, they have the kind of empathy, understanding, and humility when they talk to NGOs. Because it's very easy when you're a funder or you're holding the purse strings to not, fully respect what the implementing partner is coming in with, the NGO partner. So, developing that sense of respect and empathy, just because you're on this side and you can pass, you can write out the check after due, of course, approvals from everywhere. I think there has to be. And also, I think people within CSR must be able to help their NGO implementing partners to capacity build themselves. To see their role, that you are not sitting here just to ask for your quarterly report and do this thing. What are the real life problems? After all, you're a social development professional. Understand the real life problems and negotiate something that works for everybody. So I think, some of these are the skills.
That's, I think, very nice way of elaborating on so many skills and other expectations that you just mentioned from the professionals. I also see the trend these days, there are several people who perhaps are working in software companies and other typical corporate jobs and would want to move to the development sector, as they call it, and work in this space, because one of the reasons they cite is that this is more satisfying and probably they are able to connect to the roots or contribute to society. So I think there is always a gap, and maybe perhaps in the coming days you can also think of a small program or a course which they can take on their own and prepare themselves, because all said and done, I think that awareness, like you said, and also a kind of identification with a certain problem or an issue comes only when you are there and you have done that, been there and done that kind of thing. So to close this conversation, I would also like you to just highlight on another aspect which has to do with like you already mentioned in one of your sessions earlier about volunteerism and student volunteers and others who are not yet recognized, because I think that's where the seeds of being socially aware, contributing to society, taking part in developmental activities, all these kind of things get sown there. So when somebody is volunteering, I think that's a huge big thing they're doing. So how do you see from there to this CSR? Is there any way we can connect, and what would be your suggestions and recommendations perhaps to make it more organized?
I think volunteering is a very powerful thing, and young people, of course, nowadays schools more and more are kind of creating opportunities. This with a caution, I mean, when children have to write their essays or fill these things for application to foreign universities, they'll quickly come and ask the CSR person, can I do 3 weeks of volunteering? So if it's done in the right spirit and they really take it seriously, that's a great opportunity. It's like a pull.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just gets distorted. So I would just warn against that. Let's do it in the right spirit. And, even when students used to come to me for that, I would say, that's fine, I'll give you a certificate, but you actually have to go every day of the 3 weeks and I want a report and, you have to do it kind of. Coming to CSR, I think companies have this great opportunity where they can involve their employees and families. Create the platforms where they can volunteer. And there are different kinds of volunteering. One is just going out to an orphanage and, spending time, which is also beautiful, which is necessary. It gives you empathy. Or it could be taking up a task like, as a group, we will all go and paint this school, or we will raise certain amount of money for certain things. But I think an important kind of volunteering is where we are able to get the employees to contribute their core skills. And that is really powerful. For instance, suppose you talk to the IT department and they, tell them, we are working with these 25 schools, all of them. So will you take the responsibility of ensuring that there is 100% working computers 100% of the time in these schools? Or if we talk to the finance department and say, we want financial literacy for the women in the community. Finance. How are you going to teach them? So, more directed skill-based volunteering is also very, very powerful. And I think if companies can create those kind of opportunities, that would be absolutely fabulous.
Great.
And generally, I would also think that, many companies, we did it in GMR, have a volunteering policy actually lay down, because very often, Madhuri, the sad thing is, if somebody goes very often for volunteering or CSR, the general talk in the department is, "Arey, usko koi kaam nahi hai." He goes off every now and then. She goes off every now and then. So it's seen as people who have nothing better to do are going and doing all this. So have a policy. Let the top management make it very obvious that they are supporting this, that they see the value of this, and that it really adds value to the organization and to society and to the individual. So let top management back it. Let there be a policy. There are some organizations which actually put it into the performance review, right? Volunteering or social responsibility. And there are some which make it essential for crossing from, say, mid-management to senior management.
Okay.
It is something that's taken into consideration. So it is being taken more seriously. But I think that a little more structuring and systematization is going to go a long way.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for going into so many details about CSR and various aspects of CSR project implementation, impact, and also telling us briefly about the history of how it all came about, the concept and the laws, the rules, and so on. Thank you so much. We would definitely take a look at the book and also learn from there, and also be in touch with you, and look forward to more opportunities to interact with you.
Thank you, Madhuri. It's been an amazing opportunity for me to kind of revisit all things. And when you ask certain questions, you change your perspective, you think more deeply. So thank you for this opportunity. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching these episodes and being with us for all these 6 episodes. We really hope that it has helped you in capturing the big picture of CSR in India. If you have any queries and if you need more information, you can approach us or write to Ms. Meena Ragunathan. We can help you reach out to her. And for more such interesting, intriguing and insightful conversations, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any update from us. Thanks again. I look forward to be in touch with you. Goodbye.